It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Mothership Beer, and it's a can of their Brut Pale Ale coming in at 4.5% ABV in a 440ml can. I like the artwork on the can. They're based in Bermondsey in London. They're an all-female brewery. Rather interesting. I like that. And the beer has been brewed on champagne yeast. So we should have a listen to that hiss now in a moment with the microphone. There you go. We've got a slightly hazy, straw coloured beer, good levels of carbonation. Yeah, like little bit of haze in there. I imagine when we get further down the can, when we drink some of this beer, pour some beer from the can in, we'll have a little bit more haze, but let's work with what we have at the moment. Let's get the aroma then. A very pretty looking beer, I'd like to add. That smells good. Smells good. It's got like almost like a Belgian candied sugar aroma to it. And popsicle, like when you throw, in the middle of summer, when you go to the supermarket and you throw a load of ice lollies, mixed fruit ice lollies in the freezer, and you just get a little waft of them as you're throwing them all in, all them mixed flavours. Lemon, kind of, you get that kind of spritzy kind of champagne tingle aroma to it. There's a certain dryness to it. I know you can smell dryness, but you can smell the characteristics of what makes a dry beer. A little bit of lemon. Maybe some kiwi or something like that, some passion fruit. It smells really good. Let's dive in. Cheers. Dry, carbonated. It's got that raw Brut IPA feel about it, or Brut Pale Ale in this case. Yeah, really kind. It dries the palate. I've really been on the fence with this style of beer, these Brut IPAs. There's been a lot that have worked. There's been a lot that quite kind of haven't in terms of what I like in a beer. I like the dryness. It's like it's drying my palate, but it's like having a dry palate and then biting into some lemon peel. Little bit of sweet malt to begin with. It's like biscuity kind of light, grainy flavours coming through. Then it's lemons and grapefruit and passion fruit, that sort of thing. This beer, I'd like to add, is part of the new craft beer range in Tesco. This was £3 a can, so all the beers at 440ml are £3 a can. The smaller 330 cans are generally 3 for £5. A really good deal then. Mothership Beer, I'm going to be honest, they're a new brewery to me, based in, as I mentioned earlier, Bermondsey in London, all female brewery. The Brewsters, as they used to call them. So as it goes, it's almost like it's going full circle here. The original brewers who would have brewed beer in the medieval times would have been women. Women would have baked the bread. Women would have then used the leftover malts and whatever from the bread. They would have turned it into beer. Nothing was wasted. Everything was reused. We're going back to them times where nothing's wasted. Everything's reused. We're getting rid of 5p carry bags, them horrible plastic bags that people used to throw away in abundance and fill landfill sites with. Everything's being reused, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, the Brewsters are back. All female brewery. Picked this up in Tesco. It's a pretty decent beer. If you want to read, what do they say here? Phil Collins quotes here, "She's an easy lover." What Phil Collins once said, "And there's nothing more lovable than this easy drinking pale ale. We've brewed our bubbly brut with champagne yeast to make it refreshing, light and spritzy." Mothership is an award-winning all-female brewery that champions women in craft beer. I champion women in craft beer too. Absolutely. In fact, I champion women everywhere, in every warp of life. I love women. Let's rate this. Cheers to women. Let's rate this. That's a really solid Brut IPA. As I mentioned earlier, I've had some good ones, I've had some bad ones. This is dry but refreshing. It's a bit of a style of beer, a Brut IPA. It's a bit like a Marmite style. You either love it or you hate it. I never used to like it, but I learned to like it. Like I did with learning to like Hefeweizens and learning to like Saisons. But my palate had to adjust and learn to all of these new styles of beers when I first started 10 years ago. And I felt like I've had to learn to enjoy this style of beer. Now I've learned it, now I've understood it. Yeah, it's nice. It's an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.